Okay, first loss of the season. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me. We are incredibly close to 11,000 subscribers. We have 10,975. Thank you to everybody who's joined the channel already as subscribers, and thank you to the ones who have joined the channel as well, membership channels. I dropped the halftime membership only short during halftime, so if you want to hear those, join the channel as well. The link is down below. All right, well, the New York Knicks, man, this is an annoying, frustrating, disappointing loss. It was a loss that was caused by many things. Basically, the Knicks started doing some things really well, transition defense, and then both teams were pushing the offense. It was a really fast pace in the beginning, and then the Knicks slowed down defensively and allowed the Heat to exploit them in that second half. They basically sent the Heat to the free throw line 15 times in the third quarter alone. I have Mike Brown's post-game interview, part of it, so we can hear it. We're going to get it. There's no actual game highlights here today. Wasn't even worth the show, honestly, but I'm going to break this game down for you, and let's get into it. Here we go. The New York Knicks lost 115-107 after being down by 18. They had a tremendous fourth quarter response. They went on an 18-5 run once Brunson got back in this game. Brunson didn't come back into this game till around the 9-something minute mark in the fourth quarter, and by then the Knicks were slipping off a cliff, and he was able to kind of bring them back in. I felt at one moment maybe the Knicks might be able to pull off a comeback, but their three-point shooting was just totally atrocious. Though it did pick up a little bit in the fourth quarter. The team, mostly the defense, really let them down. They had the number 2 rated defense in the East going into this game, and tonight they allowed 115 points to the Miami Heat. And a lot of it was the bench. The bench was the major issue here. Here's the tweet I put out right after the game. Knicks lose their first game of the season to Miami 115-107. An avoidable loss if the New York bench had done its job. They were outscored by the Heat's bench 44-21, more than double. And really, you cut that in half, and the Knicks eked this out by like a 3 or 4 point game. So the bench really, really cratered, and a lot of it was because of the performance of Clarkson and Yabusele. And also they were missing Deuce McBride, but he's been starting lately, though he often plays a lot of minutes with the bench. Hart was also, the guy just can't shoot. And I'll talk about Hart a little bit later. James Edwards III tweeted this out, the trilogy. Brown on if he thought the defensive issues were at point of attack or interior. He said, we had a couple of breakdowns defensively. When there was no one in paint, it was a breakdown in coverages. When we guarded the ball, we allowed the ball to get outside of us too much. Yeah, it was basically Miami started exploiting the whole situation. The Knicks got off to a nice start in this game. It wasn't a big lead at the end of the first quarter, 27-24, but by the end of the first half, the lead had shifted around, and Miami went into the halftime leading by 3, 57-54. I thought the Knicks were going to have a bigger response in that third quarter, and they did not. They really came out kind of flat. Poor transition defense to start the second half, and a lot of it, this guy was the star of the game. Let's just focus on this for one thing. Brunson was phenomenal tonight. 5 of 11 from three-point line. 6 assists, 4 steals. He shot 14 of 26 overall, 37 points. He almost got the Knicks to win this game, to pull this game out. It was so close. I wish he had been brought in a little bit earlier. But then again, Brown is on this thing where he wants to trust the bench and doesn't want to burn out Brunson. So this is, you can't have it both ways. And in this situation, it did end up costing us the game, but this actually shows how much the Knicks actually depend on Deuce McBride. Because think about even the last game. He didn't even shoot that great, 2 of 9. But the 2 buckets he hit were huge momentum-shifting buckets. He has that ability. Tonight, Shamet had an opportunity. The Knicks were on a run. They were making they were in the midst of that 18-5 run, and it was a turnover on one end for the Heat. The Knicks defense forced a turnover. I believe the score at that point, it was within 10 points or something, maybe 8 points. And Shamet has the ball out on a break. He shoots the 3, misses it, and he was 0 for 4 at that point. He finished 0 for 4 for the game. If he hits that, maybe it's like it brings that to like a 4-point game or a 5-point game or something. And with plenty of time left, the game could have been very different. So no one else hit that big bucket down the stretch other than Jalen Brunson. Too much fell on his shoulders. It's just a bad taste in my mouth, man, that one. And it foiled a tremendous game by the captain right here. And a lot of it falls on the Knicks bench. Knicks new bench pieces, Jordan Clarkson and Gershon Yabusele, lost to Miami. 3 of 17 shooting overall. 3 of 17. That is unbelievable. 0 for 8 from the three-point line. Clarkson was a minus 12, and Yabusele was a minus 15. That's crazy. Yabusele hit 1 bucket inside the arc, and he also missed a bunny at the end of the third quarter. He fights for it. He's playing the center position. Mitch didn't play another game, and Deuce didn't play. So, and then Hart, I'll get to Hart. There's some major issues with Josh Hart right now. So Miami closes the third quarter on a 12-5 run, but right before the buzzer, Yabusele battles under the basket, gets the rebound, the offensive rebound, and he just has no lift. He can't finish right there. Easy bucket. He gets it off the rim. He gets it off the backboard, but it just bounces off the rim. That would have closed to 85-83 instead of 88-83. Instead it was 88-81. So the Knicks were down by 7 at that point, and then they got off to a terrible start in the fourth quarter, where you can see it right here. Miami just built this tremendous lead here. So this would have dropped to under. Yeah, this would have been a 5-point deficit going into the fourth quarter. And the Knicks could have maybe built on that momentum. Instead, it was Miami that built on that momentum, and they pushed this lead to 18 points midway through the fourth quarter. But then the Knicks went on their run as well. So it was a game of 2 big runs, but the Knicks were leading in this game about halfway through the third quarter. Even though they came out a bit flat in that second half, they were able to manage and wrestle the lead back midway through that second quarter. But that's when the bench came in and gave them nothing in that second half. Very disappointing results right there. Here's the box score. OG Anunoby played 36.5 minutes, 4 of 12 from the three-point line. He missed some three-point opportunities that normally go down for him. He did pick up 6 rebounds, got 3 steals. Did commit 2 turnovers, though. Finish was 14 points. Karl-Anthony Towns, 2 of 8 from the three-point line. And really, he was 1 of 7 for a long time. He hit that. He had a big 3 later on when the Knicks were doing that 18-5 run late in the fourth. That was one of his 3s. But look, 2 of 8 for him. He got off to such a poor start. But look at it. Finishes with a double-double, 15 points, 18 rebounds for him, the big guy, in his 36 minutes of play. Ariel Hukporti, a total non-factor in this game. I think we may have gotten a little overexcited about what he could contribute to this team. He has a lot of learning yet still to do. Khalil Ware completely outplayed him tonight. One-on-one there. His 2 shot attempts. Nothing. 2 rebounds in over 10 minutes. Did get 1 assist. 0 points for him. Mikal Bridges, he was the only negative in plus minus for the starters, a -7, because he played a lot of minutes with the bench unit, especially during that fourth quarter when that unit went on a run. There was no OG on that court. There was no Cat on that court. But he finishes with 20 points. He did his job offensively, but he did get burned defensively at times. Norman Powell punished him. Powell finished with 29 points, but Powell was a -7. Really, look at the bench. Look at their bench. Jaime Jaquez, plus 18. Drew Smith, plus 18. Fontecchio, plus 11. Jovic, plus 10. That's it. That's the game. Their bench punished our bench. Yabusele, a -15. Shamet, a -9. No points for Shamet. Clarkson, -12. And Tyler Kolek, who was having a decent game in the first half, but then the second half comes, boom, a -12. In fact, let's look at those half stats here. So the first half, actually, no. Tyler was a -8. He was a team high, -8. So you can see how they're really missing Deuce here, right here. Because Deuce would have gotten a lot of those minutes. But Josh Hart, 15.5 minutes, 4 rebounds. He did get 4 assists, 4 points, and he was a +4 in the first half. But come the second half, well, let's look at him in the third quarter. In the third quarter, 0 points, only 1 shot attempt in 6+ minutes, a -7. And really, that is where the beginning of losing this game started. Right there in that third quarter. Actually, it was towards the end of the first half, but here it continued. The Knicks were 5 of 14 from the 3-point line in that third quarter, 35.7%. But look at the free throw attempts. The Knicks were out free throw attempted by a -10. And that is something that the Knicks have been dominating in so far in this game. Let's go to listen to Mike Brown talk right now after the post game, and then we're going to come back to the stats.
We're really big on the possession game, and this is the first time we lost it. I think maybe all year. We lost the possession game to the Heat. Obviously, they're a good team. We're playing on their home floor, and so to lose the possession game can cost you, and it cost us tonight. We want to generate around 20 sprays a game, and we had 14. So we didn't do a great job of touching the paint and getting off the ball. We took some tough shots that resulted in misses. But we like to spray the ball for shots or snap drives to keep the dominoes falling. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was about the possession game and free throw attempts. They had 45 transition points against us. And, it's uncharacteristic of us, but they even shot a free throw, made it, scored a layup at the other end. We can't allow that to happen. We know we're better than that, and we will correct that. On top of the 45 transition points, we gave up 31 free throws. And we talked about both those things at halftime. And then in the third quarter, we came out and we gave up 15 points in 15 free throws just in the third quarter alone. If you add it up 4 times, it's 4 times 15. 60.
60.
Oof. You're on track to giving up 60 free throws. We gave up 15 free throws in the third quarter. And we just got to lead with our chests. We're leading with our arms. We're leading with our hands. And we're giving the officials an opportunity to make the call. So we have to be better. We can't give up 15 free throws in the third, especially after talking about it, and then 9 transition points in the third, especially after talking about it.
At halftime.
That's where the game was won or lost. And
we talked about it at halftime.
Could we have played better offensively? Yes. But it's going to be hard to win versus a good team on their home floor if you give up that many fast break points or transition baskets and you send them to the free throw line 31 times.
Okay, so he talked about the free throw disparity, but look at this. The Knicks shot 16 of 21 from the free throw line. They hit 76% of the free throws. They got an additional 10 free throw attempts and buried all 10. Really, the Knicks lose by 7. That's like the game. If they shoot 70%, it could be a tie game going into overtime, and then who knows what happens. Brunson was, Knicks were on they were on a roll to close this game out, but they put themselves in on their back feet so much by not hustling, not playing defense with their feet or their chest, as Brown said, more with their hands, and that, like he said, it allowed the refs to call those fouls on the Knicks. Definitely the worst defensive game of the season so far for the Knicks. But even though he said we lost at the free throw line and defensively, look at those offensive numbers. They're ugly. The entire bench, oh man, they were 1 of 18 from the 3-point line. The only one to hit a 3-pointer was Tyler Kolek, and it was his very first shot. And it was a nice one. And then he just rushed his other ones. 1 of 18 from your bench from the 3-point line. You compare that to Miami Heat. They were 12, 6 of 18, 6 of 19. Nothing great, but I mean, at least better than 1 of 18, 6 of 19. Very, very disappointing effort by the bench tonight. And let's get to talk about these guys. Gershon Yabusele, he's just not ready to contribute to the Knicks at the moment. That's my opinion about this. And I know the whole learning curve and all that stuff, but you know what, man? I got to call bullshit on that. I got to call bullshit. Yeah, defensively, yeah, maybe, yeah. But I got to call bullshit. He had wide open fucking looks. Bury your fucking threes, man. That's what you're here for. You shot almost 40% last season. At least contribute that way. Wide open. And he's missing bunnies down low? Ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Get in the gym. Get on a bike. Fucking do some swimming. Someone introduce him to Ozempic. Lose some weight. We need you, man. This team is on a mission, and we cannot afford to carry your unbelievable weight right now. 1 of 6 overall in 16 minutes, 0 for 4. Picked up 6 rebounds, nice, but 3 personal fouls, no assists. Had a turnover, did get a steal, but a team low, a game low, plus minus, minus 15 for Gershon. He's at minus 15 in less than 16 minutes. I mean, every minute he was on the court, the Knicks were losing we're giving up a point. That is just unacceptable. The problem is you have a Josh Hart who plays almost 29 minutes, 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. He finishes with just 6 points. He did finish a +2, but the problem is that even though his final numbers don't look that bad, here's Josh Hart's final numbers. They don't look that bad. The way he fits into this Mike Brown offense doesn't work. This offense is predicated on everyone shooting when they're open, and Josh just can't shoot right now. First of all, he's rusty. He's only played, this is just his second game in like almost a month that he's played, and he's got the busted mitt. So when is this going to improve? How is it going to improve? And defenses know, smart defenses know, especially Eric Spoelstra type defenses know that he's not going to shoot. So they're going to lay off him. And then they just start packing the paint. And then when other guys try to drive, there's no space on the floor. All that nice spacing that we saw in game 1, and some of it in game 2, because Deuce, you have to respect Deuce's shot. You can't leave him wide open. Well, you can leave Josh Hart wide open. And then on top of that, when the Knicks were battling back and the score was 110 to 105, after they had gone on that 18-5 run, they cut the deficit from 18 down to just 5. Miami brings the ball up on the other end. And I was watching Josh. He's guarding Wiggins, and his foot is in the paint. And he doesn't need to be there. Get out on the fucking guy. And then I forgot who, I think it was Davion Mitchell, who had hit a three earlier. A surprising three, Davion Mitchell, because he's not a three-point shooter. So they pass the ball over to Wiggins, and Wiggins, Josh Hart has a foot in the paint, and Wiggins gets the ball. Wiggins has at least 3 inches on Josh Hart. Josh Hart is not going to intimidate that shot. Wiggins was 0 for 3 at the time, but guess what? Law of averages. Boom, he buries it, and that killed the entire ability for the Knicks to continue the comeback. That his buddy, his Villanova buddy, his captain, Jalen Brunson, had fought so hard and valiantly to bring us back into this game, and by him misplaying that moment defensively and giving up a wide open look to Andrew Wiggins, and he buries it. And then the score was 113 to 105 by that point, and it was pretty much over after that. You could hear Breen saying it. Oh, that was the play. That was the play. And then you see Josh slump his shoulders after Wiggins makes the shot. Well, yes, bro. What the fuck? Use your brain, man. I was disgusted by that play. So when you look at his sideline, you're like, oh, well, George, why are you so upset about it? He was a plus player. No, he wasn't a plus player. He ended up being a plus player because he was on the court with Jalen Brunson during that run. And Jalen Brunson was the one who brought us back from the dead there. You can see, Jalen finishes with a +6. He was the high on the team. 37 points. What a wasted, a beautiful effort by the captain, man. But at least some of the positives here are Brunson's 3-point shot appears to be back and in proper form. Man, did he have one play that was just truly unbelievable. Incredible fake by Brunson for a reverse layup that sparked a loud oohs and ahs in the arena in Miami. Everybody was like, ooh, ah. It was that amazing. I'm sure you can see it on Twitter and the internet and stuff. And then OG had a tremendous block on Bam that turns into a fast break. Mikal gets behind the Miami defense, and this is one thing that Hart did nicely. Beautiful bounce pass to Mikal for a reverse layup to cut the deficit down to just 3 at that point. It was Miami 57-54. That was in the second quarter. And that closed the first half. So that's why I was hopeful. Like, oh, they got the ball movement now. Their defense is kind of getting back into gear. Even though they started off with a poor transition defense in the second half, Mikal hit a big 3-pointer. He finished 3 of 5 from the 3-point line himself. And then there was a sweet turnaround jumper by Brunson to tie the game 61-all. Then he drains a 3-pointer to give the Knicks the lead 64-61. And at that point, Jalen was just cooking. He was cooking in that third quarter. And then OG hits a corner 3. I was thinking, oh, man, the Knicks are going to pull away with this game at this moment. This is during this span here. This is it. This is when the Knicks did end up taking a lead. I think that's just a 2 or 3 point lead right there. Great pass by Brunson to Hakporti. And then Hakporti hesitates. Doesn't even get the shot off. Dude, you're a fucking 7-footer. Fucking dunk that shit. Where's the animal in you? Come on. That was so frustrating right there. And then Brunson hits a 3. He just could not miss in that third quarter. What was his actual stats in the third quarter? Because he was unbelievable. Brunson was 4 of 7 overall in just about 8 minutes, 12 points for him. Fantastic. He was basically keeping the Knicks in the game right there. But the Knicks, even though they hit 5 of 14 from the 3-point line in that quarter, and 2 of those were OG Anunoby, 2 of 4, and 2 of 4 for Brunson, and Mikal hit the one that I talked about there. Kept them around because they weren't doing much inside the arc. They were 4 of 12 inside the arc. They shot almost 36% there. And yet, because they kept fouling and fouling and fouling, they committed 8 personal fouls. It was a parade to the free throw line, and that is what Coach Brown was talking about. Miami Heat hit 13 of 15 during that stretch, and that's why they ended up winning the third quarter. So they were already ahead going into the half. They win the third quarter by 4, and now they head into the fourth quarter up 88-81. So they needed a big response early in that fourth quarter from the Knicks, and then they got even worse. They got even worse. Guys like Yabusele, Clarkson, Kolek, Shamet, they gave up. Look, they're -6, and that was basically the story of the game right there. Story of the game. Yeah. What a bummer. Mike Brown says this is the first time, just to reiterate, the Knicks lost the possession game. Says the team wants to generate 20 sprays a game, but only got 14. Said they took some tough shots. Notes Miami had 45 transition points and 31 free throws. Yes, let me show you this. Look at this. This is going to be appalling to you. Look at this right here. Fast break points. Knicks, a -21. Miami was 31-10. And then second chance points, the Knicks did recover there, 21-17. But points, they lost even the points in the paint battle, 48-42. And as I mentioned before, so did Mike Brown, they lost the free throw battle as well. Knicks they're struggling from the three-point line. They did attempt for 50, how many did they attempt? 54 three-pointers, I believe. Yeah, 54 three-pointers. Maybe that's a little too many. Clarkson, 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Guy's not a three-point shooter. He's not a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. He's a slasher. He's got the little midi game, but even that wasn't working for him tonight. He was 2 of 11 overall. So that means inside the arc, he was 2 of 7. At one point, I mean, he was missing everything. What was he? 1 of 10 at one point. And 1 of 9, he drives, misses an easy bucket, but somehow does hit the putback and gets the bucket there. So he had two shot attempts in that one drive, but he was 1 of 9 and finishes 2 of 11 there. Only 1 assist for him. No, actually, sorry. 2 assists for him. And Kolek, I was impressed for a little while, but he may, Kolek needs the other guys on the floor to hit their buckets, and Yabusele's not doing it. And if he's on the court with Josh Hart, he's not a three-point shooter. Clarkson's not a three-point shooter, so then it falls on Shamet. And if Shamet's having an off game, because Shamet has played well so far this season, defensively as well, but if he's not hitting his shots, it all falls upon. If Yabusele's not hitting his three-point shots, and Clarkson's not hitting his three-point shots, and Clarkson's going and Kolek is going 1 for 4, then it all falls on Shamet's shoulders. So then his goose egg resonates even more loudly. But when Josh Hart is passing up open shots to drive into the lane and just spray the ball out, but without real purpose because they're not collapsing around him enough, what's the value in that? What is the value in that? Which brings me to this. Josh Hart will see you for the second half of the season. Go get that finger operation. Get yourself well. We got Deuce coming back. Mitch is going to come back at some point. Yes, you're a phenomenal rebounder for your size, but at this point, the way we have OG crashing the boards, Towns is a beast, getting 18 boards tonight. What you need, if you're not even an average shooter with a healed finger. So with a busted finger, how can we expect you to deliver anything from the outside? Everything's going to be drives into the paint, and you committed 3 turnovers on your drives to the paint. So this might be the time, because we're going to need your energy, your defensive tenacity, and your, we need like that 38% three-point shooting from you. But at this point, we're lucky to get 28% from the outside from you. So go get an operation, fix your finger, take your time, rest up, and come back when you're healthy. But we'll have Shamet can take your minutes. We got Diawara, who's on the bench there, who he can give us minutes. He can get rebounds. He's a live body. Fuck it. Let's see some Pacom Dadier minutes. At this point, this is about winning the championship, and you're going to be needed later on. But if you try to play this whole season with that busted mitt and give us nothing offensively, what's the actual ultimate benefit of that for the Knicks? So think about that. And then Yabusele, lose some weight, bro. You got to get into shape. You're not in NBA shape right now. You may have had glory days in Eurobasket, but this is a whole different beast. The pace in this league is up right now. The whole idea is to get more shot attempts, and you just look out of sorts. Another 1 for 6, another 0 for from a three-point line game, and you got abused. You were a team, a game low, a game high, should we say, minus 15 in plus minus. It's time to look in the mirror. Take a couple weeks, get into shape, get on a good diet, start working that 3, and maybe rest your body as well. You got to do both at the same time. But playing every other night is not going to do it for you right now. I don't believe it's going to do it for you. All right. I said my piece. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments. And join the channel. If you, let's see here. Join the channel. The Knicks-Verse, become a member. You can get the halftime members-only shorts. Little recap there. There's chat rooms. There's discounts on the merch. Some great merch. The New York special edition merch. Even this Adidas pullover, which I can't wait for mine to arrive. It's embroidered, beautifully done. And this is a distressed New York basketball t-shirt, 2025-26, to basically commemorate what I believe is going to be a sensational season, despite what we just saw today. You know, not going to win every game. Not going to win every game. But you can see the issues, and they are all correctable, as Mike Brown said. And I believe in that. Okay. Share the video, too. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Come on. Let's get this Milwaukee game.